Well, Governor Mitt Romney's presidential campaign fighting back against the latest attacks on the candidate's business record while he was at Bain Capital, launching a new TV ad in the Ohio swing state. Watch this.
Barack Obama's attacks against Mitt Romney, they're just not true. The Washington Post says on just about every level this ad is misleading, unfair, and untrue. But that's Barack Obama. He also attacked Hillary Clinton with vicious lies.
So that's just a little piece of that. The Obama campaign has been accusing Romney of outsourcing jobs during his time at Bain. Joined now by Bob Beckel. He is the former Democratic campaign manager and co-host of The Five, and Gretchen Hamel, former spokeswoman for the House Republican Conference and executive director at Public Notice. Welcome to both of you. Good to see you both this morning.
Me too.
Bob, let me start with you on this. Clearly, the Obama campaign has decided that they're going to go back to Bain. They sort of let it rest a little bit during this whole issue, but they've decided it works for them in terms of fundraising and that they want to go back to the well, right?
Oh, yeah, and it does work for them. And look, they ran ads in Ohio, and Obama's opened up a double-digit lead in Ohio. And for Romney, he's going to have to take this on. I mean, the best defense is a good offense, and that's what he's trying to do here. But I don't think it's going to do him much good. I just think in states like Ohio, where there are a lot of working-class people, and despite what the ad says, there is evidence that these jobs were outsourced. Some jobs were. But look, the other problem is that Romney's based his entire campaign on creating jobs. And you have to wonder, since he's never run a business or started one, how's he going to make that claim?
Well, the Romney campaign went back to the CEOs of those companies, Gretchen, and they have them on record saying that they actually created more U.S. jobs during that period than any that they outsourced, and that the outsourcing was done primarily to service business that was already happening in those other countries. How do you think, politically, how is the Romney camp doing in terms of their reaction time and the way they're coming back with this ad?
Well, they do need to come back with this ad. They do need to answer the ads that are out there on this, and they do need to set their record straight. This is something that these businesses did. They created more jobs here, and because of the products that they were producing, they were actually getting to sell them to the over 90% of consumers that live outside the U.S. And to do that, you need people to help support your export markets overseas. And that's something that is good. That's good for Americans. That's good for businesses. That's bringing more money back home. And that's something that this president has said he wanted to do more of. Having said that, the Romney campaign should point out this president wants to do anything than talk about the economy and about jobs. And they're just bracing for Friday's news, and that's why they're trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, we got big jobs and we're coming out on Friday. But, Bob, obviously Pennsylvania and Ohio is the focus for the president over the course of this week in terms of the campaign trail. And clearly he doesn't want to talk about the last 3 years. I mean, he can't go to these places and stand up and say, gee, you're doing a lot better than you were before.
Well, you certainly could say you're doing a lot better than you were 4 years ago. There's no question about that. And I look, let's assume for a moment that everybody's right here and that Romney, these companies did create jobs in the United States and all that. I get back to the point. Mitt Romney has never run a business, never created anything.
But neither did Obama.
What do you mean? He never said he did. Romney's the one who's made this claim that he's creating jobs.
No, he's called himself a problem solver. He's come in and he's run organizations. He's ran the Olympics. He's done a number of things to help these businesses get back on track. The president never had a job like that.
The private equity business is about going in, making money for your investors and for Bain Capital. Companies that went under, Bain Capital made millions of dollars in fees. Now, you can argue all you want, but he still has not created a single job from his own businesses, ever.
I mean,
except
Bob,
in his campaign.
Because he didn't own a hardware store, doesn't mean that he hasn't been involved in business in the economy. I mean, I'm not going to, I think it's pretty clear that he spent a lot of his years working in the private sector. Now, you sort of want to have it both ways. You want to slam him for working in the private sector, but you want to say that he didn't work in the private sector. So which is it?
He's the one who said he created jobs, that he understands the everyday economy. The private equity is not the everyday economy.
I mean, their argument is that they help get companies off the ground, like Staples and the like, and that, in essence, creates jobs, right, Gretchen?
Yes, exactly. He was working at Bain to help these companies get back on track, to help create jobs, and sometimes when it seemed like that they weren't able to make it, he helped them break down in a way that was helpful to the economy.
Did he ever meet a payroll?
Did President Obama ever meet a payroll? Did President Obama ever create a job besides a government job? I mean, if this is what you're wanting out of a president, then this president that's in office isn't worth it either.
This is his whole case, and his whole case falls flat when you get back to the question, has he ever met a payroll? No.
All right.
And neither has the president.
governor of Massachusetts and running companies at Bain. That's going to be the argument. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the head-to-head debate.
I think Bob's
because that's when
argument
these questions are going to come out, and Mitt Romney's going to have to answer them, and the president's going to have to, answer for his 3 years in office, and also, what his kind of experience was.
They're both got to answer on both creating mandates for health care. That's true. They need that as well.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Bob, our gentleman, and our lady, Gretchen. Good to see you both. Thanks, guys.
Want to show